Right to a guest line, former Sun Devil and NFL quarterback Rudy Carpenter. Rudy, how you doing, buddy? What's happening this Monday?
Oh, I'm doing good. Living the dream, enjoying the California weather.
I was there yesterday. I enjoyed it. It was nice weather, very, very nice. And so, what's your biggest takeaway? How'd you think Colt McCoy did?
Well, I thought he played great given the circumstances, right? I think it's really, really difficult as a backup quarterback to play well. I mean, you get very, very, very little practice time. It's very difficult. So I thought Colt did a tremendous job. One of the things that stuck out to me the most is something that I think I, really come on this show and talk about every week, which is, to me, the operation, the way plays are called, the way personnel is changed on and off the field, when the play is called, the play clock getting so low, pre-snap penalties, all of that has been terrible for the Arizona Cardinals, and really has been terrible since Kliff has been here. With that being said, last year and this year, when Colt McCoy is the quarterback, the operation looks 100 times better to me. I don't know if anybody else sees it, but to me, that's the way that I feel. And it's interesting to me when you pair that with how well Colt has played, his completion percentage, the wins and losses, along with the study clause that the Arizona Cardinals try to put inside of Kyler Murray's contract.
Rudy, I said the same thing at the open here when we talked about the last segment. I said the fluidity of the offense, the way things are run. I pretty much was a ditto of what you just said. And on top of that, Kliff talking about how well he prepared. He's a professional, in early, out late. Guys in the locker room really respect him. And I guess he did have a chance to be the guy all week, knowing that probably going to sit Kyler for this game. But I agree with you. I just see more of a professionally run offense when Colt's in there. I don't see helter-skelter or grab bag. And it seems as though Kliff is more confident in the game, in the play calls that he calls when Colt's in there.
Well, it's a lot easier to predict. I mean, look, when you're a coach and you're a quarterback, and we all know, all right, everybody knows. The defense knows. I mean, defensive coaches know. Offensive coaches around the league know that, when a certain play is called, we all understand as players around the league and in the locker room how this play is going to be read, how the quarterback's going to look at it, how the quarterback's going to diagnose it. The information he's getting from that pre-snap read and post-snap read is telling him how he is going to progress through his read in the pass play. Almost all NFL teams do it the same. Almost all the coaches do it the same. Almost everybody runs the same offense and the same concepts. It's just about when you call them and how you call them and a bunch of other, minor details that are actually really big details. So that is what it is. And so when you're a coach and you're calling plays and you understand what the defense is doing and you can predict it, you can better predict what my quarterback's going to do. Sure. You can better predict how the quarterback's going to go through his progression. You can better predict on who's going to get the ball. You can better predict on who's going to get targeted. It's not just we're going to call the play and we're going to let Kyler go out there and do what Kyler's going to do. You've heard this a million times too, Dan. It's like, hey, if you make a mistake, that's fine. Just give your coach a good reason. Give him the answer as to why you made that decision. As long as you have an answer for why you made a certain decision, then it's a learning moment. We'll get better. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it did. My fear with Kyler is that he's always been such a great athlete. He's always been someone who's been able to ad-lib. He's always been somebody who's been able to get himself out of trouble. And there comes a point in time where it doesn't work anymore. It still works now. It just doesn't work consistently all the time. And so now he has to become a precision passer. Now he has to learn how to play on time and make good decisions and throw with anticipation and be incredibly accurate. That's when it's really difficult. The guys who can do both, that's when they obviously become Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes is nowhere near the athlete that Kyler Murray is, but he presents the threat. But he's difficult to defend because he can touch every single blade of grass in the passing game. And ultimately, that's why the Arizona Cardinals paid Kyler Murray $250 million, because if he ever puts it all together, he can absolutely be the most dynamic player in the league.
All right, Rudy, let me follow up with that then. James Conner had a nice game running with the football. Kyler Murray hasn't had that the last couple of games. How did that change the dynamic then and made it easier for McCoy?
Well, there's no doubt that it made it easier and it changes the dynamic. I mean, you don't want to be predictable. I think the Los Angeles Rams over the last couple seasons, even with their success, have gotten into some trouble with their lackluster run game, or even the Bucks to a certain extent, or the Packers to a certain extent. But I don't think that's the issue. To me, I think it's been the same issue all year long, and this is where it's a little unfair for Kliff. The offensive line has been decimated, and it's really, really hard to play football at a high level and execute at a high level in the NFL when you have a decimated offensive line. It is really difficult. It is already hard enough to block. It is already hard enough to pass protect against guys like Aaron Donald. So when you have to do it with your backup players, it is impossible to do. So, I mean, that's, to me, what has been the big issue with the Arizona Cardinals. The big issue has been, obviously the injuries along the offensive line, and then they just haven't been able to put their entire roster of players together healthy on the field 100% at the same time yet this year. And again, look, I call out Kliff when I think he deserves to be called out, and I think he's one of the worst coaches in the NFL when it comes to operation and when it comes to situational football. But, I mean, on the other hand, it has definitely hurt him having all of these injuries and or suspensions. It's very difficult to play at a high level when you don't have your highest paid guys.
Rudy Carpenter joining us here on the right turn to guest on Rock. I'm Jimmy B. Rudy, you look at Rondale Moore and the 9 catches yesterday. Are they finally getting him in rhythm, finally utilizing him in the manner they thought they would 2 years ago when they drafted him in the second round?
I have no idea, but I mean, what we know is that when he has the ball in his hands, he's dynamic. That's what we know. When he has the ball in his hands, he's dynamic. As a matter of fact, we all come on here, and I know I haven't bashed Steve Keim a ton, and I think he deserves it. But look, all of these guys who he's brought in have all flashed. Kyler Murray has flashed. DeAndre Hopkins flashes. J.J. Watt flashes. A.J. Green has even flashed, right? Rondale Moore has flashed. Hollywood Brown has flashed. I mean, all of these guys have flashed. It's really been about getting them on the field and healthy and all executing at the same time at a high level, right? That is what the issue is. And so, I mean, I think ultimately, again, it's just really, really hard to win when you don't have your most explosive players like Rondale Moore. But again, I think it also, when you have Colt McCoy as your quarterback, and you can call plays with the understanding that when we call this play, this is the guy we're trying to get the ball to, and you can rely on him making that decision and doing what he's coached to do and what the play is designed to do, rather than someone who just decides he wants to throw it to Hopkins because, or he wants to run because, or he wants to throw this ball just because. I mean, I think it makes it easier as a play caller, and maybe that's part of the issue too.
Our State 48 Roofing, it's your call question of the day, Rudy. I want to throw it by you. Colt McCoy has now won 3 of 4 games as a Cardinals QB. Should Kliff Kingsbury leave him in at starter until the bye? And the answers are either yes, offense runs smoother, no, Murray is better, or 3, they should platoon. Even you were to go to @RockManucci on Twitter and vote. What way would you lean on this?
Well, I mean, look, to me, it's not even a question that you can ask because, look, everybody understands the business. Business-wise, you can't pay a guy what you're paying Kyler Murray and not playing. It's not going to happen.
Until the bye, though, Rudy. Till the bye. This is make or break.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I mean, for me, I would do it just because I feel like, and I want to see. For me, I would do it. Yeah.
2.
He's the man. We always love having him on the show. That's good stuff.
I second the motion.
Politically correct there. Rudy. I love it. So, hey, Rudy, as always, man, thanks for making time for us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good week.
Hey, you can follow him on Twitter, Rudy G Carp 12. I believe he's verified. I think he's going to pay the $8 or whatever it is.